Hey now, Adam.
Hey, what's up, Sitch? It looks like we're talking about the Iowa caucus here.
That's right. It's the first caucus of 2024. And unfortunately, the day that I will have to pay Adam $500.
Well, let's not bring the video down here. I know you're depressed about that.
I know,
What's
very
going on
sad.
in Iowa? It's an exciting night.
That's right. Okay, so I want to talk about a lot of the mainstream media is very excited about Nikki Haley.
Oh
That's
yes,
specifically
girl
what I want to talk about.
power, go
Yes,
Nikki.
girl power. And so so this is the polling going into tonight. And we have Trump winning at 48%, Haley in second place at 20%, DeSantis in third place at 16%, and Ramaswamy in last with 8%. Okay. Now,
Wow.
let me explain to you the plan here and why I think it's a really silly plan. It's
Okay,
very
so this is
reminiscent.
this is
Okay.
people are talking about Nikki is going to win this
No, no, no,
caucus. I
no.
mean,
They think she's
okay.
going to win second place.
Okay. With
Okay.
20% of the vote, she's going to
Right.
come in second place.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Um, but they think that she can win the overall nomination for the Republican Party.
What?
And yeah, no, I know. It's really silly. So this is the plan, and it's very reminiscent of the Bernie Bros plan, which obviously spectacularly crashed and failed, which is that Nikki's going to keep winning second place in all of these primaries and all these early caucuses, and that's going to force DeSantis and Ramaswamy to drop out, and then she's going to get all their support. So since Trump doesn't have 50%, he only has 48%, she'll like get the magic 51, 52% going forward, and then she'll win the nomination. Okay.
I find it extremely hard to believe that the Ramaswamy vote is going to go to Nikki Haley. So
That's the
that's
first
the
flaw in
first
this strategy,
problem
you
I
think?
see
Yeah.
in this
Yes.
in this logic train. Yeah.
Well, I would even be surprised if like I think there could be some amount of DeSantis support, say he dropped out, that would go to Nikki, but like not all of it. A lot of people that like DeSantis like him because they feel, oh, he is basically Trump light. He has like Trump policies, but without, the negative baggage that Trump has whenever Trump talks.
Yeah, they describe him as MAGA but effective.
Right, right.
Yes.
So, but Nikki is not remotely described as MAGA. She's kind of being described right now as the neocon, sort of the classic Republican, George W. Bush again, Dick Cheney again, regardless of
Yeah.
whether you think that's fair or not. That's how people are describing her. So,
Female
what?
Pence.
There you go. So, why would anyone think that it's like a legitimate plan that support for Ramaswamy or DeSantis is all going to get sucked up by Haley if they ever drop out? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't this doesn't this doesn't seem like a good theory here to me. I think it's Trump is going to take it away. Do you know if Nikki has money to make it to the end, even if she's losing miserably?
Well, the idea is that whoever gets second place in the first couple primaries and caucuses will get a bunch of support from the various Republican donors, who there are some who really don't like Trump and will throw a bunch of money at them.
Right, but I'm not certain they're going to throw money away if she's such a distant second place in every single one of these primaries, right?
Yeah, well, it would depend if the people that are throwing her money would fall for this ludicrous idea of like she's going to galvanize all the non-Trump support, which
Right, yeah.
I I'm sure some of them will try. It's hard for me to imagine this, but it's just interesting like history here. So going back in the Iowa caucus in 2020, do you know who won the Iowa caucus for the Democrats?
2020. I don't
Yeah.
recall. Who was it?
Well, as I'm sure you know, Joe Biden won the nomination and the election, right?
Right?
It was Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, wow. I never would have guessed that in a million years.
You know who won
Pete
second
Buttigieg.
place for the Democrats in
Who
2020?
who who brought in the second place win?
Bernie Sanders.
What Buttigieg beat Bernie Sanders?
He did.
Wow. Okay.
You know who won third place?
Who was it?
You think it was Joe Biden?
Joe Biden in third place?
No, it was Elizabeth Warren.
Look, all this is hilarious.
Joe Biden got fourth place in Iowa in 2020.
That is kind of unusual. Fourth place?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, the person that comes in second goes on to win. Like
Right.
Iowa isn't really picking winners these days. Everyone always talks about Iowa being the first caucus, but they rarely pick the guy who's going to go on to be the nominee.
True, because in 2016 for the Republicans, the
Yeah.
Iowa caucus picked Ted Cruz as its winner.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah,
That's
though Trump did get second place tied with Marco Rubio. They both tied in second. But
wow.
so yeah, you're right. Iowa's not really picking winners. So I don't know how important it is other than just funding, maybe people going forward think it's going to be a funding issue. But okay. So I think we both agree that the idea that Nikki's going to like magically get all the non-Trump support just seems absurd.
I think she
Um,
could build up momentum, though. I think you are underestimating the girl power
mhm.
that Nikki Haley is commanding here.
I am. I think she could pick up momentum, but it's hard for me to imagine that she's going to get enough momentum to get more votes than Trump in the primary. I just can't
Yes.
see that unless Trump, gets arrested or something crazy happens, which is possible. But okay, let's say theoretically, let's say everyone drops out but Nikki and Trump. Trump gets arrested, and that makes his polling numbers go down instead of up, which is another guess, right?
That's
You know,
probably not going to happen.
probably not, but just theoretically, right? And Nikki actually does win the nomination. Okay. And she's going
Okay.
up against Joe Biden in the general election, right?
Yeah. What do those
So,
polls look like?
okay. So I think this is where you and I might have a disagreement because I think if Nikki wins the nomination somehow and goes up against Joe Biden, I think she's going to get annihilated.
Really?
Yes. And
Isn't
the
she up in the
reason
polls? I think she's up against Joe Biden.
she is, but I'll tell you why. I think DeSantis would probably crush Joe Biden. I think with Trump, it's going to be close, but I think Nikki will lose handily to Biden. And the reason is that, yeah, I know she's got like the girl power, but I think there's a good chunk of Trump supporters, like, 20%. This is all feels, by the way, but like 20% of Trump supporters who are like diehard Trump supporters, diehard Republican base that always come out, they always vote, but really, really, really despise Nikki Haley and despise like the neocon movement. They're like diehard populists. And I think they're just going to stay at home if it's up to Nikki versus Biden. They're going to say, oh, well, this is just, you know, two sides of the exact same coin. I don't want any of this garbage. I'm just going to stay home and I'm not going to vote.
The coalition is going to shrink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's going to be like key voters that the Republicans have been used to coming out for decades that are going to be the ones that stay home and vote. So even if Nikki, this would just be my prediction, even if Nikki could pull swing votes and independents, which I think she could definitely away from Biden, I think they're just going to get clobbered. She's going to get clobbered too hard on the base.
Right. You could be right. I do think that there is a substantial vote out there that feels blue balls from Hillary Clinton losing in 2016. They
Yeah.
desperately want to see a female president in their lifetime. And these are obviously women. They're probably single issue voters around this. Nikki Haley is going to draw all of those votes. Is it enough? Is it enough? I mean, it's definitely in the independent category, which independents tend to be the kingmakers. But I think I'm not sure that the actual base Republican voters, the base of women, are in that camp. I mean, there might be a substantial number of the Republican vote that's female and really not interested in a female president. You know, they're more traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult to say. She might actually lose votes with the base, get the independents, but still not make it to 51% of the electorate.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say. It's definitely going to be an interesting and close election. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun this election cycle, I guess, especially with all these court cases. We'll see if those play into any of this or not. And I guess we'll see what happens going forward.
Well, do you what do you think happens if she loses in South Carolina? I feel like that's going to make some kind of impact since that's her home state. And if she loses to Trump in South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's a bad sign. She should win that state no matter what.
Yeah, if she loses South Carolina, well, it depends. If she's still like in second, if it's like close, I think there'll still be people that'll throw money at her.
Right.
But if she loses in South Carolina, but is not like if she loses in South Carolina, but is still maintaining second place in everything else, she can maintain second place over DeSantis and everything else. I think she'll be able to stick it out, rough it out, hoping that Trump gets knocked out by, going to jail or something. But if she loses South Carolina and is like constantly getting knocked down the third by DeSantis, then it's over.
Right. Right. Yeah, this is interesting with both DeSantis and Haley so neck and neck. If one of them was a clear winner in the second place category, the other two would probably get out, which would make things far more competitive.
But here's another thing. So remember with Bernie, all the Bernie bros are like, oh my God, all these other, moderate candidates are going to drop out. And all those moderate voters are going to some reason like have brainworms and vote for Bernie Sanders, right? Right. And then what happens is it's like, or no, actually, I'm sorry. They had the opposite. They had the opposite take. All the moderate voters, all the moderate candidates are going to stay in and they're going to prevent Joe Biden from getting the nomination, right?
Right,
And then
because
you
all
had
those candidates would, all those voters would
they'd all
go to
split the
Joe
vote.
Biden.
Yeah, right. They'd split the vote enough that Joe Biden, I mean that Bernie
Bernie
would win.
Sanders could stay in first
Right.
place.
Yeah, sorry. It's the reverse of what people think Nikki's going to do. And then what did you have? You had Bloody Tuesday, right? All the other candidates drop out on Super Tuesday, and Joe Biden like totally cleans up. But the problem here is that say Nikki does get a solid second place in all these primaries, all these caucuses, and so DeSantis drops out. But spoiler, what if Ramaswamy here, he's like trying to suck up the Trump, so he stays in just to suck a little bit of numbers away from Haley if his presence does that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen the clips going around of Ramaswamy basically trying to sweet talk voters in Iowa, saying that he alone is going to save Trump from
I did
his
see that,
own
yeah.
future downfall.
Yes.
It's super, super creepy. And I don't think Trump is gonna I don't think Ramaswamy is coming out of this unscathed. I think Trump is gonna throw him under the bus pretty
We already
quickly,
have. I mean,
so.
Trump already has. He's attacked him twice, I believe, on Truth.
Yeah, but
Um,
I don't think he's going to be staying in to help Trump by siphoning votes off of
I
Nikki
see.
Haley. Yeah,
I see. Maybe. Who knows?
yeah,
But it's going to be fun either way.
it is. Yeah. So any final thoughts?
That's it.
Hi, you just listened to a Sitch and Adam recorded video. That's right, we're doing Monday through Friday deep dive recorded videos now. And of course, we're still doing our live streams. Our live streams are on Sunday and Tuesday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you can super chat us, or you can join the channel. Subscribe to this channel right here to watch the live show or watch more of our awesome deep dive videos.